What's up, y'all? Look, I'm back. Okay, the reunion part one has already aired, and I have watched a couple of the interviews too. So I'm back, even though that long ass break in the middle of the show just kind of killed momentum. As far as how I felt about the show, I hope they never do that again because that was just really a really long break, and I just don't understand why they did that. Okay, but let's talk about, let's remind ourselves of how we got to watch this show. We know that they are filming for hours and hours and they are not going to show us everything. We're not going to see it. So this is why the interviews are interesting to me, okay? But we have to realize that we're not seeing everything and sometimes we could be misled by whatever production is put together. So, let's just keep that with a grain of salt, okay? Now, the interviews that I saw Hussein on Kamisha's. I saw Kojo sit down with Deanna, and I saw Naeem interview with Crystal EXO and Mo. Okay. However, that was not Naeem's first interview. Not see, this is why they should not take a long ass break like they did, because I forgot about all of the stuff that happened in the beginning. I talked about Hussein's business. I talked about Love Accordingly. I talked about the podcast that Cam and Cisco have called Toxic Perspective. If y'all haven't checked that out, check that out. Or not. I mean, I'm not making you do anything. But then I also talked about Naeem because Naeem was one of the first ones to interview. He interviewed on a podcast called Eat Your Heart Out. And I remember talking about that in the beginning of the season 15,000 months ago, right? But anyway, the interviews were good. And it's just so interesting how, people can take part of the same event and have different perspectives. That is the beauty of being, a human, right? And Naeem obviously had a good experience. He had a good experience on the show. Deanna, she didn't really, I don't think in her video, she did say that when she got this, she was unimpressed by the men. Okay. Only Eddie really caught her, attention initially. Right. And then Hussein, whatever this stuff that's gone down with Rose has him traumatized or whatever. Well, I didn't even gonna say traumatized, but it was a lot that it seemed like he could have said when he was interviewing with Kamisha, and he was like holding back. Kamisha did a really good job of asking him the questions, but obviously it's some parts that they can't talk about since the reunion hasn't aired, and he was answering the questions, but he really wasn't getting down deep into it, right? But I think part of it is because some of it is Rose's story to tell. But let's talk about Rose too, because I totally was shocked by how Rose was acting, and then the previews of how she will be acting in part two. I'm just shocked, but then at the same time, we only saw whatever the production put together, right? They could have cut out all the parts where she could have been acting like that during filming. I don't know, but I was shocked. Y'all might not have been shocked, but I was shocked. So, but I think also Rose and Kiara and I can't remember who else. Some of them are going live, I think, on Instagram this weekend. Y'all probably already know this. I'm new to this, so I'm just getting back into whatever's going on. So get down in the comments below and let me know what I'm missing, okay? But yeah, so Naeem had interviewed on Eat Your Heart Out podcast months ago, but he basically, had told how he got on the show. Obviously, they were in his inbox and he didn't know if it was for real. But he actually had an open mind for the whole situation. So, that's the one thing I can say about this cast is that they didn't give off the vibes that we've seen in the past where we have thought like, oh, this is a plant, or why is this person, this person just want to be on TV. Like, they actually seemed really, really real. You know what I mean? They were all being themselves, So I definitely rock with that. Now. But yeah, Naeem was saying how they inboxed him. He seems like he's cool with everybody. That's what he said. He's cool with everybody. So he doesn't have, he doesn't have any issues with anybody. Hussein is, obviously, he said he hangs with Sahara sometimes. And he said, there's obviously that contention with Rose or whatever, but, I don't really remember who he said he wasn't rocking with. or whatever. But anyway, you know, and then the Deanna interview. Listen, I don't date firefighters because they see a lot of stuff, and that comes to me. It comes with a little level of emotional unavailability. All right, because they got to turn off at some point because of the things that they have to see. You know what I mean? And I noticed that about Deanna when she first, back in the beginning of the season, I think I said that she has a level of like no nonsense about her, that she's not going to, she's not about to play no games, okay? And in the interview, in her interview, she did basically explain, like, if she thinks that somebody is playing her for a fool, she might let you play her for a fool, but she's just gonna see how you gonna carry it, but she not about to go. You know what I'm saying? And she expounded a little bit more in that camp situation. And apparently he was taking some digs, which he seemed like he's arrogant or whatever. And she just, you know, reacted accordingly. Okay. That's basically all that was. Because she said she don't date firefighters anyway. So yeah. But yeah, her interview was really good though. But she did, like I said, she came off with a lot of no nonsense. Like, she's not there for no explanations. Once she decides that she has seen enough, or, you know, gotten enough information, she's making a decision about, you know, whether you are worth talking to or not. She's not dealing with that. But she wants a man that is, like, you know, gonna basically tell her what it is. Okay. I did wish that her and Khalil could have seen what was up with them, but she's not attracted to him. Basically, that's what I got out of her answer on that. She's not attracted to him, and I definitely can relate to that. So, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, listen, I don't know. I just, firefighters be looking good, but I know we ain't got nothing coming. We ain't got nothing. Okay, but anyway, shout out to all the firefighters out there. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because the interviews to me were good. Get in the comments below. Let me know if you've been watching the interviews. Who are you looking forward to seeing interview? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I want to see all of the people that I just mentioned after the part 2 of the reunion, because that's when they'll be able to really, you know, expound on things, right? But I want to see Sahara's interview. I want to see her interview with somebody. I want to see I kind of want to see Kiara and Jay. I do want to see, what is the name that I'm thinking of? Oh, Cisco. I want to see Cisco's interview. You know what? I also saw an interview with Tay. I can't believe I forgot that. I saw an interview with Tay. Her interview was good too. But she couldn't really talk because the second part of the interview has not aired. So I want to see Tay interview again. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for, because, you know, we watched the show, but what's interesting to me is to be able to see how the person is off camera, right? And what their, you know, perception of what they went through was. Because, like I said, it's got to be a mindfuck to go to an event or through something, right? Or go somewhere, and then you come back and people are only talking about these little things that happen when all of these things happen. So that's why the interviews are really good to me. So anyway, yeah, I'll be back once we have seen part 2. But y'all get in the comments below. Let me know what I'm missing. Let me know. Okay, I'm about to also watch Beauty in Black. I'm not reviewing that, but I just like that show. I seen Horace on Instagram doing his thing too, or whatever. So anyway, get in the comments below and let me know what y'all watching and who y'all want to see interview.